Power silicone. Let's plug in and begin. So we got some stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about silicone. Talk about that sine wave. We're going to talk about the ohm. We're going to talk about tuning forks. So I'm glad you guys cared to join me and talk this noise. So we will be talking a lot of it. I had to come back to the station. So now I'm back. We'll talk about crowns and growing trees. We're going to talk about detune. That's a misunderstood thing. That's knob right here, detune. The third knob over on the far right. And we'll talk about this crap. Now, what the tuning fork does is it makes a pure sine wave. Okay, so a pure sine wave is the foundation of all sound. Now, how you would make a tuning fork on a Blofeld, there are a few different ways. The comb filter can be considered a tuning fork because it has teeth. And tuning forks have 2 prongs. However, I will note that the only single prong tuning fork on this planet is a cricket. And let me explain and show you why. This is a cricket. Silent oscillator action. You already know what I do. I never play this by the rules. Yeah, I don't have time for that. I mean, I played things by the rules. You know, I'm a legit guy, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm illegitimate, obviously. So now, check this out. FM source 01. Want to know how I know that? I had a cricket in my room this summer. Let me know every night. It is 11 o'clock, the time to take my ass to bed. So that's a cricket buddy. Now, I don't know, man. I could say that some natures definitely lived in this place. Butterfly, cicada. You know, cicada definitely taught me about LFOs. I won't tell you how that little buddy did that, but it's quite peculiar. When we're talking about the tuning forks, we're talking about the sine wave and how this shit works. So the foundation of sound is the sine. Now, how you get tuning forks, excuse me. Let me set up a comb filter, or the filter real quick, and take this shit off. Excuse me. Oh man, that's some breathing treatment. So we'll take this down to 59. We'll set this up to a notch. Typical redundant crap. Take our resonance up to 112, 13, 113. So self-oscillate. So the most natural tuning fork you can get, bam, right here, sine wave. So that's a natural sine. That's the purest sine you can get. It's more pure than these that you can pull up. You can bet your ass on it because these are ROM, looped, whatever, waves. So this is the real sine wave right here. Now, comb filter. Let's talk tuning forks. How you would get a tuning fork on this example I've showed you. Alright. These are tuning forks. You guys can probably see that. But this is how it works. What does a real fork have? 4 teeth. I don't know any forks that have any more than 4, except for probably those big salad forks they use to serve people when they self-serve plates. So tuning forks have 2, 3, or 4 forks. Now you'll see this diagram here. That's the comb filter. You see a pulse wave. Then you see at top, the bottom is growing trees, growing plants. Take 16, you go down -6. There's your square tuning fork. Now, pulse width affects this. You see, I take this down to 48. Alright, like 50. That's a tuning fork. Your 3-prong tuning forks come from this. You see? That's how you set it up. Now, detune, how that works is it detunes everything from, it's like a 1/28 of a semitone. Okay, so how you get that to work is, say you're trying to set this tuning fork up. You want to set up a sine wave now. And you still need to get it right. Well, I know it seems a bit off. Well, -32 is half of a semitone. Because if you turn it all the way, it'll just go down one full semitone at -64. And plus 31.5, if the Blofeld could be that accurate, would be the half going to plus 63. A detuning. So, a little loud. Gotta be careful with this type of stuff. Gets crazy, doesn't it? That's not really sounding too musically useful. You can get it to do that though, but it's just how you do it. But usually what you could do, if you want to get technical, is use the tuning fork as the FM source. So go to oscillator 1, I'll set it up. Now, what you really want to do, I'm just showing you the stacking tuning forks right now. Alright, now you don't necessarily have to do that. You can use this as your normal wave. So we'll use sine. All you have to do is use this as your FM source. So I'll make a crazy fork, like a 4-prong, like I showed you an example. Make a 4-prong fork or something. There we go. There's your 4-prong fork. You want to get it to perfection. And that's where the detune comes at. Say if you have it something like that, and you see that little bit, that's where you probably want to fix your detune at. You might want to turn it up a bit, like halfway or all the way or something like that. Probably not all the way though, because a semitone's a semitone. You have to be careful with this stuff. You do. You have to be very careful because sound's a delicate element. Yeah, you can do some crazy stuff with this tuning fork stuff. Now watch. Watch. I'll show you. You guys want evolving pads, dude? You could do so much with the tuning fork technique, but I see, like, this is something that probably has to get more in depth. I don't really want to take up too much time doing this, but I will show you all the stuff that I basically was shown by my brother, White Noise. because we discuss a lot of things in the most peculiar times of day, so you must know that too. But it gets quite heavy. Now, this growing plants thing, how's that done? Co minus, because what does it do? It inverts the envelope, not the envelope, the oscillator wave. So there you have, as my bro would say, plants growing. This is how you grow plants. See? Now, you see, the whole inversion comes. This shit goes through walls. You have to be very careful with this. It does go through walls. I'm pretty sure people in this apartment building are like, whoa, what the hell is he doing in there? You should have heard me the other night. I was real busy. But nah. This is how you do. You have to mess around on the fuckery. And you have to experiment with different little things and techniques. This is how, that's the tuning fork. It's just inverted. It's growing plants. I guess you won't want to call it something else. Well, call it what you want. His technique was the tuning fork. My bro shared it with me. And as always, I don't want to get into too much crap, but we'll talk about that one too. This is how detune breaks down. Like I said, if you're going negative, you go negative 32. That would be half of a semitone. Negative 64 would be the entire semitone. That is how you fine tune your tuning forks when they appear this way, when you can't adjust it on square wave. That's how you would do it. Take it to about here. See? And physically modeling is done very simply with that too. But when you incorporate, like I said, silent oscillators, ring modulation, blah, 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 FM, and now the ohm tuning fork technique, you know you can't really go wrong except for being out of tune. So on that note, please stay tuned. I will catch you guys on Flip. And I hope you guys enjoyed these topics. Like I said, there'll be way more deeper shit to get into. And that is a gradual thing. The power of sound, the power of silicone, the power of 14. I'll catch you guys on the Flip. And you have a good Sunday.